welcome to another video, and today I'm going to be showing you some gameplay from the Theme Festival. Now, Theme Chronicle event, it's basically wrapped up, and I've been asking myself, is this actually a really great Yu-Gi-Oh format? Now, one of the things that regular Yu-Gi-Oh's standard format has is everybody wants to go first. They want a wombo combo, they want to set up a big board, and one of the biggest changes between that and the Theme Festival is in Theme Festival, everyone wanted to go second. And it was very interesting to see how really kind of a slight change to the ban list made it a completely different meta. Going second meta is so different from going first meta. It's actually hilarious. And you see all sorts of cards and archetypes that are really not viable at all in the regular Yu-Gi-Oh metagame that are doing excellently in Theme Chronicle event. So I'm asking myself, is this really something Konami should consider to be a format that they use going forward? Now look at my opponent summoning Guardian Chimera with Polymerization in a Blue Eyes deck, and all the hand traps still around. Now the hand traps get a lot of hate, but it was very interesting to see the hand trap usage in this event because all the hand traps are unbanned, but they didn't really stop any decks from being viable. I mean, every deck's playing the hand traps, and all these kind of weaker decks, if you got hit by a hand trap, you got powered down, you couldn't build an amazing board, but you get to keep playing because it's not the end of the world, you got hand traps too. Opponent, it looks like they're doing pretty hot here with two big monsters. They got Blue Eyes, they got Guardian Chimera, they got True Light on the field. So I want to ask you guys, do you think this event was fun? I definitely enjoyed it. It felt very different from regular Yu-Gi-Oh meta, I gotta say. It felt like, we've gone either back in time or something else, but this felt a lot more similar to how I remember Yu-Gi-Oh being back when I played, maybe like 10-15 years ago. Sound like a bit of a boomer now, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. So I'm glad Konami is mixing up these ban lists. I kind of hope they support a permanent second format and a more casual format like this, where the best deck is Crusadia. Now Crusadia getting a lot of hate, but honestly, Crusadia, it's fine. We're gonna pop this because when you pop this, it pops all their monsters. Get them with the face up heavy. Get popped it. We're just gonna do a little quick OTK, showing off the power of mermails. But any event where mermails is a good deck, I think makes me happy. So maybe I'm biased. Maybe this is my bias showing. Let me know in the comments. Am I just am I blinded by the awesomeness that is mermails being good, and I can't see that this is actually not a great event? Getting in for lethal damage. I'm going to have this full deck list at the end of the video if you want to see what I'm playing. But for now, let's go on to the next game. When we talk about the other events, Konami's running MasterDuel, because they have run quite a few different events. Usually, the events were focused on limiting us to one extra deck monster type. So they had the Link Festival, they had the XC Festival, they had the Synchro Festival. And all of these felt kind of centralizing because they're kind of generic monsters in each extra deck type that are good. We're playing up against Crusadia now, talking about best deck in the format. But in those other festivals, it really felt limiting. It really felt like, only certain decks were playable. Whereas in this event, it really does feel like all the decks are playable. Even some of the decks that got neutered really hard. Like, if you wanted to play Despia, you can still play Despia in this event. It's not as good, but you can still play it. So I would be supporting of Konami having a second event type. I've always said that Konami needs to have more different types of game modes, because you play other games, you play Hearthstone, you play Magic Arena. They got multiple game modes. They got 2, 3, 4, 5. Arena has probably like 10 different game modes, even if you don't count best of 1, best of 3, which they have for every different game mode. Opponent negating our Ash Blossom. Are we going to get Crusadia here? Opponent, let's try and pop with the heavy. Popping that Magnus. Making a second one. But see, even a deck like Crusadia, you know, they want to go second, but it's not a game loss if you go up against Crusadia. It definitely doesn't feel like when you play against Numerons and they Numeron OTK you, you know, it feels more like you have a chance. You can interact with them, and that's one of my favorite things about this format is the increase in the amount of interaction. Because it really felt like in, you know, the last year of Master Duel, there have been a lot of formats where I felt like everyone wants to not interact with their opponent at all. They want to set up floodgates, which stop you from doing anything. They want to set up a board with a lot of negates, where they just negate every card in your hand. They don't have to think. Whereas in this format, you know, you have interaction, and you're gonna end up in a situation like this where everybody's got one monster on the board. You know, people are actually trading resources. They're not plussing infinitely. I think this format's great. So that's kind of my review. I definitely like this event more than the other events they've tried. I found the gameplay to be very interesting, and I found a very wide variety of decks people were playing. You know, big mix-up. So overall, great event. I hope Konami supports something like this. Now it does remind me a little bit of, you know, almost like Edison format-esque, where it brings the game back to an older state. Although we still have Link monsters, I actually don't think Link monsters are a problem. You know, maybe that's a hot take. A lot of people complain about Links. I think Links are fine. Any game mechanic, as long as it's balanced appropriately, you know, can be fine. And Links are the same way, you know. There are Link monsters that are bad, and there are Link monsters that are good. And I don't think the mechanic itself is a problem. The only mechanic I would say is a problem is pendulums, because they're so annoying. Pendulums break a little bit too much of the game's mechanics, but you know, maybe that would be my ideal format, is this, except all pendulums are banned. I'm sorry if you love pendulums, but the mechanic has too many problems. Let's summon the Crocker Dragon back, and I think we got pretty easy lethal on our opponent. Gonna droplet us, but Abyss Scale gonna negate. Even though they sent a spell, Abyss Scale does not care. Abyss Scale will negate. It is mandatory. Get in for lethal on our opponent. Showing off the power of mermails versus Crusadia. But let's pot first, because you got a pot agreed. Now, I was trying to think, what is a way to improve this event, other than banning pendulums? Let's go on to the next game. Now, one of the things I think Yu-Gi-Oh really could use is some sort of draft format. And I've seen other streamers play draft formats where they, you know, crack separate packs and then they duel against each other using just the cards that they pull. And I think, you know, those draft formats seem really fun. And I wish that they were implemented fully in Master Duel. If you've watched, you know, the MBT series where he does that, let me know in the comments what you think about that format, if you think it's fun, if you would like to play it as well, or if you think it's just more of something that's interesting to watch. Because, you know, there's a lot of stuff in Yu-Gi-Oh that takes a long time, like learning a new deck or deck building, and not everyone's into that, but it does seem like a lot of fun to kind of play a suboptimal deck, I would say, because that's something that Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't have. It doesn't have a format where you're encouraged to play like a suboptimal deck, in the sense that it's not like the most top tier thing it could be. You're not limited in any way. Got him with the discard too. Let's go on to the next game. Now, when I say playing with a suboptimal deck, one of the advantages of Yu-Gi-Oh is it has a lot of cards, but a lot of those cards are completely ignored because they're just not good enough to see play. And some of the cards are fun. It's just there's no reason to run cards that are fun over cards that are better in the same slot. So encouraging people to, you know, go into that diverse card pool and play more interesting decks is something I think that the game should do. And you know, playing suboptimally can be a lot of fun, and that's why if you go into Magic or Hearthstone, they have limited formats where you draft a deck and then play using just the drafted cards, so your card pool is really limited to what you kind of pull. Yu-Gi-Oh has a problem where all the decks are so combo focused, it's hard for that to work. But I think that there's a way for Konami, especially in a digital format, to make that work. We're just getting people with the discard too, they just can't handle it. Let's go on to the next game. But one of the other rule sets Konami has is the Duel Links rule set. And Duel Links changed a lot of things. Duel Links changed the number of cards you have. At the beginning of the game, they changed the number of zones. They got rid of main phase 2. I don't know if getting rid of main phase 2 is necessary. But a lot of Duel Links' changes are actually pretty fun. If you ever played Duel Links back in the day, I mean, I enjoyed Duel Links back when it was out. I think Master Duel is a lot better than Duel Links. But Duel Links' format rule set was pretty interesting. It made a lot of archetypes that you would not think would be good. They became top tier. Like Fur Hires, Shuanui, like those were like top tier decks in Duel Links. And they're fun decks. But in Master Duel, they're just not viable. You just can't, you can't competitively play them because every deck is too powerful. So maybe Konami should think about if they want to support a format with a radically different rule set like Duel Links. Now Duel Links also has the skills, but looks like opponents getting us. They got us. They got us. They stole our monster, attacking for double lethal damage. Crusadia. Got Crusadia. See, Crusadia is good, but it's not the best. Let's go on to the next game. So overall, I would say this event's good. I think Konami should support a second format. This could be the second format they support permanently, but I mean, only Konami can decide that. I think a draft format would be really good, and I think supporting a completely different rule set like Duel Links would be good. But overall, I think the biggest takeaway is Konami's standard format. I just don't think it should be the only way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! In Master Duel. I think the game can support other more interesting game modes, and let me know if you agree. I think that's really it. Let's make our opponent discard 2. Get rid of their reasoning, get rid of their Shuanui Squire, and opponent is done. We just gab people with the discard 2. You know what? This is just too fun. Let's go on to one more game, and then I'll show you the deck list. Now with Konami banning my boy Toad, I think it's very likely that sprites are going to come out, and one of the problems that Paper Yu-Gi-Oh has is it's very dominated by tier 1 decks. So Sprite, Tearlments, which are later, really very strong, very powerful decks that kind of overwhelm the TCG. And we're about to get sprites, I'm almost certain. If they don't give us sprites, then they kill Toad for no reason, and that's just unacceptable to me. That they would ban Toad when he did nothing wrong. Opponent hitting us with the Max C. Now Max C, very strong. If I could make one change to this festival, it would be banning Max C. It's just too good. Let's oh my god, opponent with the second Imperm. Imperm Max C. Alright, opponent. Well, we can at least make you discard 2 cards. I mean, you're still up a bunch of cards, but we're making you discard 2. Opponent with the third Imperm. What is this nonsense? Alright, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this festival is bad. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think down in the comments. We'll have some discussion. Maybe I should do a poll. Let me know if you think I should do a poll on if people like this format. Probably a better way to do it than asking random comments, but I appreciate the comments. Opponent's playing Orchest. Oh no. Oh no, we're about to get got. Orchest gonna make tokens on our side of the field. That should be illegal. Summoning a Nightmare. Summoning a very nice Prismatic Orchest. Summoning a Link Karibo. Linking up into Dingirsu. Oh no. Dingirsu gonna send and steal. Sending our card to the graveyard, but boosting his attack points to 3,400. And we're getting out of here. It's time to stay safe. Let's go on to the deck list. Alright, here is the Mermail deck that I played in the Theme Chronicle. I finally got the last missions done, so I won't be doing any more videos about the Theme Chronicle event, But let me know how you liked it. Let me know if you think it should be permanent. And if you don't think so, tell me what you hated about it. Because I thought it was a lot of fun. We got all the hand traps going on. In the extra, we got Penguin combo, we got Synchros, we got Xyz, we got Zeus, we got the Lynx. Alright, hope you liked today's video. And, you know, next time we'll be back playing in regular Yu-Gi-Oh! Ladder. And maybe sprites will be out. So, you know, keep an eye out for that. Alright, see you next time. Have a good night.